Get everything going.
We
Stretch
back.
a little
We
bit.
back.
Pop the
Water.
knuckles.
Girl, sit your hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, oh!
What's going on, everybody? Today is a good day. I want to welcome everybody to the 2-4 podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and with me is my brother from another mother, the Ken Dog. Say what's up to the people, Ken.
What's up, everybody? We're back. We're back with the big number 30 episode for you, the Chef Curry special.
The Chef Curry special. Man, today feels good, man. We got some things to talk about. Like, for instance, the Kings are now on a 2-game winning streak on the road. And then we got a little bit of NFL news,
a lot of NFL news.
A certain obscure person retired that nobody knows, ever heard of.
Yeah.
And then some other dude,
Joe Schmo kind of guy, little Joe Schmo.
and then another broadcaster dude winds up coaching. He put his name in the coaching pool.
Yeah.
Possibly getting hired. You got hired, man. Just a nobody that you watched on TV, man. Another Jeff Saturday. It's hard to keep a straight face talk about these folks.
Yeah, man.
You know,
if you know, you know.
Yeah. So the two people that we talking about that are supposedly obscure that nobody's ever heard of is Tom Brady, the GOAT quarterback, finally calls it a career. Supposedly, I mean, you never know. Maybe give it a couple months. And then Sean Payton, he's a legendary head coach, won a Super Bowl with the Saints, took some time off for a couple of years, and finally got reeled back into the coaching stuff, and he's now a head coach, but not for the Saints.
We'll get into that as well. It's gonna be interesting.
He's reportedly, man, he's gonna be paid very handsomely, way more than what Gruden was getting paid. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got a guy from your team is now a head coach, DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco, yes.
So we're going to talk about that as well. And am I missing anything?
Not much any like major news, just like little bits of news here and there we'll touch on. Other than that, would you rather start and jump into the game the Kings had tonight?
I mean, it's only fitting, you know what I'm saying? Just that's some beautiful sound right there, man. It's the sound of angels in the city of angels. By the way, I made sure to get the one where they're at the Laker game. That's the people over here chanting out the people's champs. I think it's safe to say that the Sacramento Kings are the people's champs. Like, they're
the people's team, man. If you look at it, right? Okay. There are plenty of like fans of different teams that are coming out of the woodworks and they're like, we're really excited to see the Sacramento Kings back playing good and back to like the years of the best team that the league has ever really seen that never won a championship. Back to the 2000 days. People are excited to see this new team. And if you just sit and watch, honestly, if you've never seen a Kings game, if you're either gonna get one or two, they're gonna play, pretty good. They might get the win, they might get a loss. They're gonna see some wild stuff that goes on. These guys got bounce. They shoot the ball very well when they're on. Just a very exciting team to watch.
Pretty exciting team, man. And I think the thing that sets them apart from the Grizzlies, like we've talked about the Grizzlies a few times
Yeah.
in the last couple weeks, and it's because the Grizzlies are kind of obnoxious. They
Yeah.
they
just
they get under your skin, so it's hard to root for them, even though you like a Ja Morant. Like
Yeah.
his game is phenomenal. Wouldn't like looking
Yeah.
at that. Well, I don't want to look at that when it's followed by a bunch of arrogance and things like that. It's off-putting. But it doesn't take away from the actual skill set, but it does take away from liking the team and wanting them to have great success. Our
Yeah.
team is the people's team because we don't do none of that. We don't go trash talking.
No.
We just try to love on each other and just really enjoy. Like you don't see no bickering on the court. You don't see nobody
No.
getting heated, or we talk about Coach Brown's rotations, how kind of weird it is and stuff. And you would think that with it being so up and down, that players would be voicing major frustrations, but there's none of that. That's crazy.
No.
They're either doing a good job of keeping it on the low, or it's legit that there's no hard feelings.
I really think there's legit no hard feelings, because when you get to see the guys that are real role players, they step up and they have good games, like Trey Lyles, aka Drake Lyles, Chimezi, Rashawn Holmes when he had his couple good games, TD. They're always like, yeah, man, I'm just blessed to be on this team. They're happy to be on this team. It may have been different if we had a really losing season. It might have been a little bit different. But these guys are happy to be what they are. They're happy with the squad of guys. And they always say when my number's called, I just go out there and I just I do the best I can, and to my abilities, I let my play speak for itself. They try to create things when their number's called, and that's all they can ask for. So
Yeah.
there's really a lot of hostility, and most of the guys, when they're on the team, when they're on the floor and they're playing well, I mean, you never see Malik Monk without a smile. That fool's always smiling. He's laughing up and down the court, man. He's having a good time. There's times De'Aaron's, he's out there smiling.
Always with the positive vibes with him. Always.
Yeah, these guys have the vibes are immaculate with these guys, and it's not, when they're having fun on the court and they're playing well, they're having a good time. Also, they play off each other, and DeMontis is a real big leader on the court. He vocalizes a lot. He really steps these guys' game up to the next level, I think. He's always encouraging the next guy to make the play, and encourage them to do the right thing and stuff like that. As well as Mike Brown, when he coaches you, he'll take you out onto the court and he'll show you what you needed to do in that moment. He did it tonight with Keegan. So I think this is just the vibes throughout the whole team, coaches to players, is just really good right now.
Let's get to talking about this game. This game, I don't know. This game's kind of weird. If you went by the box score and all that, and you were to look at the production, there wasn't any major numbers outside of De'Aaron and Sabonis and Malik, and maybe just a little bit of Harrison Barnes. Those are the only guys that had double-digit figures. Everybody else uh kind of just they contributed in ways that didn't show in the stat sheet really because
Yeah.
for instance, they didn't have like a crap ton of steals, but they had a crap ton of deflections. So they're being very disruptive in their defense. So,
Which is good. Which
yeah.
I said that last time. I like them to be disruptive, create some congestion in the passing lanes to get those loose balls and stuff like that. That's what I love to see.
So even though like I said, if you looked at the numbers for all these other players that are outside of the 4 names that I've dropped, you'll be like, man, they didn't do nothing. These 4 dudes carried. No, no, no. This was a team effort.
No,
And
this
was a lot of hustling and just like, just being disruptive. That's the only way to really describe it, is just making sure that you make it as tough on your opponent as possible. And like today, I felt like De'Aaron and Sabonis kind of really showed the league that like it's so disrespectful that you don't have us in your all-star radar, that you're over here. There's got to be some kind of way to fix this whole situation with the all-star stuff, because like a guy like Sabonis should have been a starter. De'Aaron should be getting a lot of talk from people. I mean, both of them really should be getting a lot of talk. There's the number 3 seed in the West. Everyone knows how tough the West is. And yet we stay talking about teams that are below 500 and they're not, they wouldn't even make the play-in tournament if it were to start right now. Like it's the disrespect, man. It's getting harder and harder. The closer we get to these all-star games, man, it's like it's getting worse and worse, I feel.
Yeah. It's it's just tough to see, All they do is go out and they ball, and you can't, they're not recognized because they're not, they're not popular. It's it's the way it is now.
Yeah, dude. Cuz like, I've heard people bring up, like, for example, Damian Lillard as an all-star, and I mean, he's a phenomenal player, but if you went by record and all that, he's the 11th seed. So if the playoffs were to start, or at least the play-in, they're not even in the play-in tournament.
Yep.
And obviously people talk about the Lakers, and they're talking about LeBron and possibly AD. And even though LeBron is having the most ridiculous season, especially for someone his age, like, they're the 13th seed. And maybe some of this disrespect is for the fact that we have like no national games. Maybe people need to get put on.
We had one. We had one game. I think there should be some flex games, some Kings flex games on TNT, some games, like, just switch them out,
It ain't gonna happen, man. It's rare,
happen, man. We got our one and only,
and that one wasn't even scheduled. That one wasn't even scheduled. That one came out of the blue because Deuce and Mo brought it up. Say, hey man, we went without a national game for a couple of years now. Like, can we get one or whatever? And so it was an eye-opening moment for the league to like review that and be like, yeah, we could throw you a bone. And it was like one of their better games that they've ever had.
It was a blowout.
Yeah, a blowout, but the way, you know what I'm saying?
Game.
It was like, it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
So what are some things that stood out to you this game, and let's throw in the game prior to this as well.
Yeah. So what stood out a lot for me is DeMontis and De'Aaron. De'Aaron last game had a slow start, and he didn't really get going until the fourth quarter, like when he usually has to. I like how he got more involved this game from the start, and that's what you want to see. You want to see, at least like, scoring each quarter. By the fourth quarter, I should like 15, 17 points, something like that. Around that ballpark. And then that way he, when he gets into the fourth quarter and he's able to, ISO, or create an offense for, his teammates, he's a little bit looser. He's more in tune with the game. And I like to see him when he's being a menace on defense. Tonight he was a little bit of a menace on defense, creating, he created offensive, or not an offensive foul. They got an offensive foul on the Spurs because he was being such a menace. I love to see that. And with DeMontis, last game he got, he fouled out and all that, and was just struggling and having frustrated. And you can see his frustration when he left the court. He was, he was really upset. And he really answered tonight. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and play the way I know how to play. Yeah, man, he balled out. He scored 34 points. That's a career high for him. That's a career high.
That's a career high. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the career high, 34-point double. Yep.
Wow. Well, that's
double Damas. But yeah, just the way that those two, those are our stars of the team, man. Those are our 1 and 2, guys, and for them to come out tonight in tonight's game versus the game they both kind of had, where they both had a rough night. They still got the win against T-Wolves last game, but they, just, wasn't all there. But them to come out here and just straight up ball just says a lot. That these guys can switch things up and fix things game to game, which I love to see. And another thing that stood out to me was the bench. Malik Monk leading the bench with 22 points, which is great. 6th man of the year, by the way. I want to throw that out there. I think like he should at least be in the conversation, But
yeah, at the very least, conversation.
I tell you, at least the conversation. Come on, man.
I think you should always have somebody in the conversation if you're a top 4 seed. If you're a top 4 in either conference, I think it's like hard to not be in that situation without having somebody off the bench being like really vital and crucial to your team's success. So yeah, Malik should be in the conversation. I don't know if he'll win it because I think the other guys that are in the conversation, I think they might be averaging a little bit more throughout the stat line. But I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong. I have to take a deeper dive into it, but he should be mentioned. He should be mentioned.
I want to see our guys that are deserving, and especially this team, be mentioned more. We've gone so long with the Kings has just been kind of like the of the league. Nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. Nobody mentions them because they're not worth mentioning. But we're worth mentioning now, man. We are. We're up there.
Yeah. Yeah. This organization definitely deserves some type of pat on the back. With that type of recognition, having players being able to accomplish things, because you guys really turned it around. I think for sure, Coach Brown should be mentioned for Coach of the Year, Monty Executive of the Year, and just there should be a lot of mention for a lot of guys and a lot of different accolades or whatever. And so I'm gonna piggyback off of like things that you said, like De'Aaron. See, in my opinion, last game he actually had a better start than he did the game that we lost. Because the game that we lost, he had 21 points in the quarter, and so like he finished with like 20 something. I can't remember what the total was, but the dude came into that fourth quarter with only a handful of points. And
Yeah, I
so
remember now. Yep.
yeah. So this last game, he finished with 30, I think.
Yeah.
And he was being a little bit more assertive from beginning to end. It wasn't just, oh, I'm gonna save it to the end or whatever. Even his mom called
Yeah.
into the radio station and brought it up. And she says she hates that he waits till the fourth quarter.
Oh
which
yeah. I mean, I
which
want to see him go off all game. You know, I love watching him play.
yeah. To me, you should just end the game just dead ass exhausted. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
don't
You know,
conserve the energy thinking about, well, I need to feel somewhat fresh for the next game. No, man, that you gotta leave it all out. And then when those games that you are dead ass tired, that's when you have your teammates help you out and they take over the load. So
Yeah.
this way you can still be in the game and do what you can, but it's not all on your shoulders.
Definitely.
Because that's
Definitely, yeah.
that's how the really good teams are. You know, when those superstars on their team is tired, that's when the others take over. That's what
Yeah.
Shaq always talks about, the others, you know? And so so I love seeing that this game and the game before, De'Aaron was more assertive, and I want to see it continue. And then I want to give a shout out to Sabonis because it's been a while since we've seen him have such a dominant game.
Yeah.
A lot
It
of the
really has.
games, he's been kind of struggling, whether it be with turnovers, the I don't know, just getting the offense going for himself. Like sometimes we want him to do a little bit more scoring because I think if he is a little bit more assertive scoring wise, it will help make the his facilitating that much easier. Same thing with De'Aaron. And
Yeah.
and I think that this is what's so deadly about our team versus other teams is that we do the only other team that's like this is the Nuggets, with Jamal Murray and Joker, where you have two people that not only can score in bunches, but they can create for others and get those double digit assist games. So you have two walking double doubles potentially. And that makes us a very unique team because what other team in the West can say that they have that? I don't think there's any
Not
other
much.
team.
No.
There's only
No.
the only other team that I think has that. They're out in the East. That's like the Sixers and maybe the Nets. Maybe because like Kyrie can get you double digits assists, and sometimes KD can do it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But as far as like the entire league or just the West, I mean, it's really just the Nuggets and the Sixers to me.
Yeah.
So that puts us in a unique position because you look at those two teams, they had nothing but great success.
Yeah, they you put those teams, they're always consistently at the top
there.
for the
They're always
last few years. They're always there.
Yeah.
You know, and you could throw in the Celtics too, you know, like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they can go out and get double doubles all day, you know.
Their double doubles is a little different though. Because like their double doubles,
they are a little different.
Their double doubles would be like, let's say like with Jason Tatum, he's gonna get it with rebounds.
Yeah.
And Jaylen will probably it'll either be rebounds or assists, but like I normally like with Jason Tatum, I only see the rebounds. I don't really see the assists.
Yeah, they're not as so dominant at the post, you know, in the paint, you know, as Domas and Joker are probably the most, and you could throw Embiid in there, pretty dominant guys in the paint when it comes to getting those rebounds and points in the paint.
So who do we play next? We play what? New Orleans?
Pacers.
Pacers? Oh shoot. Man, so okay.
This
I don't
segues into a really nice conversation because the way these two guys play tonight, I think they really have to carry this to the next game. But
Yeah.
I want more from Herter and Keegan. They got to bring it. Keegan and Kevin Herter, they have to bring it. I'm telling you.
Dude,
They have to contribute more than 5 and 2.
this injury,
Kevin is kind of on a rocky road, so he's
I trust
ain't talking
Kevin
about
though.
ice
I
cream.
trust
I do. I trust him to come out of it.
yeah,
You know,
because
he
remember,
can
he started out hot, then he went cold, and then he came back hot.
came
So
back, and now he's
I
just
think
kind of
yeah, I think it's always gonna be like that with him. And like with Keegan, as long as he focuses in on what Mike Brown and
He's
Sabonis have like preached to him, which is if your
yeah,
scoring isn't there, how can you impact the game? How can you
and he's been doing well. He's
yeah.
been doing well and doing different things. I mean, he got if you look at the box score, I think he got like a total of like 7, 8 rebounds. 7 rebounds,
7 rebounds, yep.
2 assists. I know I was
But
watching him.
he also had a ton
He
of
was creating
deflections.
off-ball screen,
He
deflections.
he was
doing
going
some off-ball
vertical
screens.
with defense and stuff. Like he doesn't have any steals and blocks, but he altered the shots
game,
and yeah. So he was being disruptive defensively. So as long as like we have our guys doing all the things like effort wise, I think like we'll always be in the game. Like
Definitely.
the really really good teams don't always need to rely on their shots knocking down. Sometimes it just comes down to, are we winning the rebound battle? Are we winning the assist to turnover battle? Are we winning, in deflections and verticality and all that kind of stuff? Are we winning in all these things? And if you're winning in all those other categories, then even if you're struggling, you're still going to have a chance to win. And then I trust a guy like De'Aaron and Sabonis in the fourth quarter to do those small little things that only the star players can do. And that's will the ball to go in and will a defensive stop. Like that's what sets the stars apart from all the other players is they have a will to them that is almost like a superpower. And I see that with De'Aaron all the time. I see it with Sabonis all the time. Key rebounds, key defensive stops, key baskets, obviously. But I mean, as long as you keep us in the game, we will always have a chance. I just looked at the standings right now, and boy, are the Pacers struggling without Tyrese, bro. Remember, at one point they were like number 3 as well, and they slid all the way down to 10. They're
to 10, bro.
They're 4 games under 500.
Damn. Yeah, they were 4 and they were like 4 and 5 for a while, man. They were like right there.
At one point they were higher than us in the seedings.
Yeah.
When we were number 4, they were number 3. And then that injury happened, and it's like they can't exist without him, man. It's like guys are still putting up good numbers, but like it's not resulting in the wins, man. In the last 10, dude, they're in their last 10. They're 1-9.
That's tough, man. And really that goes to show you how great Tyrese is. How well he affects the ball club, like how well he affects the floor with just his ability to score, but he's a really good facilitator. Like he can feed his teammates. Without that, man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle bus, man, and it's really showing for them.
This is going to be a tougher matchup than I think what fans are going to realize because they're on a 3-game losing streak. They are 1-9 in their last 10. They gotta want to
Like
stop this,
trap game kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's a trap game, basically.
Nobody wants to have a losing streak go past 3 games. And are you gonna keep that losing streak going for them, or are you gonna break it for them? And you guys on the road, you want to keep the winning streak going. You want to be able to possibly come back home 5-2 on this 7-game road trip. And you know, you dropped one in Minnesota, and if you're gonna make this 5-2 happen, I think you can't afford to lose this Pacer game. I think the only one you can afford to lose is the Pelicans game.
So the Pacers start tomorrow, Thursday, a homestand against the Lakers, and then they play back-to-back games Thursday and Friday. So they have the Lakers Thursday, and they play us on Friday. So they're saying Tyrese is expected to come back during this homestand, but they don't know which game. So it could be the Lakers, it could be the Kings, or it could be against the Cavaliers. They're expecting one of those games. So we'll see.
If I wanted
back-to-back games.
If I wanted to ease Tyrese back in, I don't do it against the Lakers because Russell, Pat Bev, LeBron, those are very physical guys.
Very physical, yes.
And they will probably have different opportunities against him, offensively, defensively.
Yeah.
I would rather want a little bit less physicality coming at him, and I would want the Kings. Plus, also, it's like that added motivation, you know, of like, you know, beating your former team, and also you beating a former player that used to be on your team. I would think that like the organization and Tyrese have that game circled. But like me though, I'm thinking more so, like I said, the physicality thing, coming back from an injury, don't want to re-aggravate anything. I don't want him getting hit in the chest, going, you know, pedaling backwards on defense on LeBron or Russell Westbrook. That's
that'd be rough.
That's really physical. And then Pat Bev, there's a reason why Russ and him don't get along back before they were teammates, and it's because
they're physical, man.
Pat was very physical, especially on those effort plays. He will dive for a ball, not caring if he
you know, just
because
throwing yourself out there, you know.
Because he's the reason why Russ had that major injury to his knee.
Yeah.
So do you want Tyrese coming back from an injury dealing with that?
No. If you're the Pacers, you play it smart on that one.
Yeah.
So we'll see though. We'll see what they do.
Plus,
I was just looking at the stand. Go ahead.
Plus, there's a chance that you can win without him against the Lakers. The Lakers aren't the best team in the league.
No.
The Kings, though, is a good test for your team to show that you can get out of this because, look, I can hang with the number 3 seed in the West.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to look at it that way as well to give my fans some hope that this is not a lost season because you're at, like I said, that the 10th seed. In the last 10, you're 1 of 9. Man, that's rough.
Yeah. I was looking at the standings in the West. The Pelicans have lost 9 in a row.
Yeah, they've dropped big time.
They dropped to 10. They lost 9 in a row. They're 1-9 in the last 10 as well.
But
they lost 9 in a row.
Bi
Bi
and
and
Zion
Zion. That's
not being there, bro.
those two guys, man. It really takes a toll on that team.
And if those,
Yeah.
I don't know, like how many of those games were against Western teams, but like
Yeah, I
the
don't
West,
know.
the West is filled with talent, and if you don't have talent to go against talent, you're not gonna win. That's why the
Yeah.
Rockets are where they are. That's why the Spurs are where they are. Even the
Yeah.
Lakers, that's why they're there. Like they don't have enough talent to keep up with a potent Western Conference.
Yeah, they got stars, but I mean, really, they've been they've struggled with shooting a lot this season. So and it doesn't help when Anthony Davis is
Street
he's
clothes
got
Davis.
legs of glass. He's got legs of glass. he's that one guy from what's his name? Oh, he's Glass. What's his
Yeah,
name?
yeah. Mr. Glass, Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, man.
Yeah,
In a
yeah,
wheelchair. He's like, my
Yeah.
bones are broken.
Yeah.
Yep, Street Clothes Davis, man.
Let's head over to the NFL, man. Let's talk about some NFL stuff. So much happened, bro. So much. All right, let's finish it, man. We don't keep playing the song, man. It gets me juice. I want the Super Bowl now, bro.
Yeah.
So where should we start, man? Should we start with the GOAT? Should we start with the coaching hires? Where should we start, bro?
I think we start with TB12, man. Tom Brady. The greatest of all time. And I know you naysayers are going to be like, oh, he's not the greatest of all time. What about Joe Montana? Or yada, yada. I mean, don't get me wrong. Joe Montana, great player. Love him. But
Probably one of the coolest nicknames too. Joe Cool.
Cool Joe. Cool Joe, like, man. But nobody has ever done it like Tom Brady, man.
Dude, the dude was so dedicated to the game. He was 100% okay getting divorced from his lady.
Yeah.
He was just like, my family, my legacy. That's cold-blooded. It's probably more. There's probably more to the story than that. I know a lot of us kind of go that way because that's the thing that makes the most sense when we don't have all the details. But
and I want to throw this out there to all you Cowboy fans out there who's saying the Cowboys retired Tom Brady. You didn't retire Tom Brady. He wasn't even he was not even expected to make the playoffs, y'all. But he still did.
Yeah, no,
he wasn't going to win that game, man. We know he wasn't. That team is not built to make a deep playoff run. If it was, it would have been on Tom Brady's hands.
If this was
made it happen.
If this was Tom Brady of a few years back, whatever you would consider Tom Brady at the highest of his like powers,
Dynasty.
he still wouldn't have won against the Cowboys because the rest of the squad was still trash. Like,
yes,
it's not just him; it's the entire team was bad.
The Cowboys didn't retire Tom Brady. The Bucs retired Tom Brady. That's how bad their team was.
And this is where I need to like push back on those that dislike Tom Brady because they'll bring up the argument that, well, he wanted all these guys. He wanted BA to not be his coach anymore, and he wanted Todd Bowles to be his head coach and whatever. But my pushback on that is that you as the Buccaneers shouldn't be given up to so many demands by your star player. Because, like, to me personally, as much as I love LeBron James, I'm one of the biggest LeBron James fans that you'll find. But I am very critical about certain things. And one of those things is how much he loves his teammates.
Yeah.
Because I think he could have been very competitive in Cleveland, but he didn't need the salary cap to be eaten up by a bunch of bums. Like Tristan Thompson was getting paid like this dude was like Julius Randle. And it's like, no,
money and he's trash.
Yeah, he's not that good.
Yeah.
And like J.R. Smith, I mean, we all clown him over that moment with like him not knowing time and possession and all that, and we make fun of him, you know, being on Henny or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's things like that. Like, he's getting guys paid. He wants certain things. Right now, the Lakers are in a bad situation because he vetoed a very solid trade with the Sacramento Kings to get Buddy Hield over there to the Lakers. Because what do they need? They need shooting. What does Buddy Hield do?
Yes.
He shoots the hell out the ball. And he wanted Russ. Russ has been a disaster. He's always been a disaster, but it's a news flash to him because all he sees is the same thing everybody else sees. That the dude keeps finishing with triple doubles average for a season. That's crazy good, but you don't pay attention to the bad. You don't pay attention to the fact that he's a terrible shooter. He takes a lot of bad shots, and his turnovers are god awful. They're like the worst turnovers you could ever imagine.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So I blame LeBron for, you know, those kinds of things. Why his team struggles. That's on him. He wanted a certain roster and he got exactly what he wanted. Mm-hmm. But what do they say about GMs when it comes to fans? They say that if you start listening to the fans, then you'll be out of a job. Why isn't it the same with an athlete? Because the mess that the Buccaneers were in could have been avoided had they just did their job and not do the job or bidding of Tom Brady. As much as I love Tom Brady, I am not going to listen to every demand that he has. I will hear him out. I will make him feel that he is absolutely heard. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make the best decision for the team because you probably can't see. You probably can't see past what you just did. Your feelings are in the now rather than a year, 2, 3 down the road, because everybody was all high after that Super Bowl. But every year they've gotten worse and worse and worse. A lot of people could have predicted that. A lot of people.
Oh yeah.
The only person that couldn't is Tom Brady because he's a player. He's not meant to think like a general manager. He's not meant to think from an organizational standpoint. So that's why he's had a bad year, man. It's not. I think he could still play, but after the type of as beaten he got, there's no way you're gonna want to get up every morning for that. No way.
Yeah,
especially what you sacrificed.
This was a rough season for him. A lot of people are like, "Oh, watch, he's gonna come back." I'm like, I don't think he's gonna come back. I think this is it. This is it for Tom Brady playing football. So where he's gonna go next, I don't know. Rumors is broadcasting, you know.
Well, he has a contract with Fox.
Yeah,
that was done last year. So
10-year some contract.
It's like 400 some odd mil, almost 500 mil.
It's more than he will make than he made all his seasons playing football.
Yeah.
For 10 years versus his 23.
I still don't know if he's done because like Brett Favre like unretired a lot of times.
Yeah.
MJ retired a bunch of times. There's been other great players that retired more than once, and I think it's a matter of what team will make it absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't
it's gonna be, this just happened to I think today, right? Today.
Yeah.
That's why I saw it today, this morning. Uh so, you know, we'll see as time goes on, during this off season. We'll see, I'm pretty sure people are gonna reach out and be like, "Hey Tom, you really done? Are you?"
I
If he's
think
like, "Yeah, I'm for sure done," they were like, "Well, let me talk to you for a second," kind of thing, like, you know,
team I think there's only
I
one
think his
team that could get him out of
what
retirement. But the problem is I don't think the
what team is that?
your team.
Niners, yes.
But I don't think Kyle Shanahan would be
Yeah,
down for it. That's the thing.
I don't think so.
I
He
think there's
doesn't. Kyle Shanahan doesn't want a one and done year guy. He
I
wants
don't
a
even think it's that.
franchise.
No, I don't think it's
No, I
that.
never.
I think it's
No,
the okay, Tom Brady is going to want to call an offense to how he sees fit.
yes, yeah,
You think Kyle wants to give up that type of thing? No.
no.
Then you're taking a
You're
lot out
right
of his
about
hands,
that.
and that would jeopardize his career as well if it
You're
doesn't
right
go
about
right.
that.
So
Yep.
to me, like that's the thing. It's selling Kyle Shanahan and possibly his dad. I don't know. I know that Mike Shanahan is involved with y'all's organization, but I don't know to like what degree. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if it's official
he's
or.
more behind the scenes kind
But
of
I'm
guy.
saying, is he getting paid or is he like just a guy that always gives his opinion and works with his son and things like that? You
Yeah.
feel me? Like
Yeah.
if he's not really involved with the team like that, then it makes it a little bit easier to isolate Kyle and talk to him about it. Because like
Yeah.
right now you're in a situation where Brock Purdy is for sure needing surgery regardless of that second opinion. Like he's gonna need it, bro.
A quarterback situation's in shambles. I'll tell you that for sure. It's in
Yeah.
shambles. It's in like shambles. Brock Purdy's gonna be out. I mean, he's getting a lot of opinions right now. Uh, I mean, I kind of got, there was a tweet that went out. It was some misleading facts or misleading report that he's gonna be out for over, a year for surgery. It wasn't all true, so they took that back. They're still, trying to figure out what's going. But he, at the end of the day, he's probably going to need surgery. It's just
Look,
however long he's going to be out
I
for.
I think even best case scenario, he's not going to be in a good spot. Like
Yeah,
he's going to come back when the season has already started, and you know what I'm saying? Like there's
yeah,
just if you guys had this injury happening before the regular season, he'd probably be
yeah,
absolutely ready for the start of the season, but I don't think he'd be
yeah,
ready. He too much rehabbing and all that kind of stuff. Plus, you
yeah.
gotta
He won't
like
be ready. He won't have practice. Nothing like that.
you
No,
got
the conditioning.
you got to always hope for the best when these surgeries happen because you never know if somebody needs to like fix something because the surgery didn't take right the first time or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't see him being able to avoid surgery. I just don't. Um,
No,
and yeah, your guys' situation is really, really tricky now because you can't trust Trey Lance to be healthy. And even if you did,
yeah,
you probably feel in the back of your mind it's only a matter of time. And then
Yeah,
what
I
do you?
mean, we really don't know what kind of play he can offer. I mean, we really haven't seen him in
What
not
do you?
even like half a season's worth of play yet.
Are you gonna be able to bring back Jimmy G? Are you? Like, I don't think so.
I don't even think so.
I don't, man. I
I mean,
think
I'm reading right now. It says Kyle Shanahan shuts door on the possibility of Jimmy Garoppolo returning to the 49ers. I don't think he comes back. I think
uh,
he goes somewhere else.
plus, I think a lot of backlash is gonna happen if you do bring him back, from the fan base
Yeah,
because I know.
yeah.
Let me tell you something, man.
There's a lot of people
Hearing
that love him, and there's a lot of people that
no,
hate him.
there's people that love him are starting to turn on him.
Yes.
It's because of how the game ended. He's
Yeah.
smiling,
Yep. That's a big thing. Both
and
him and
let
Trey
me
were. Both him and nobody's talking about Trey.
no
Trey was
no
too.
nobody's tripping over
But
Trey. They're tripping over Jimmy,
nobody
who should
is
know better.
over Jimmy. Yes, he knows better.
And let me tell you the amount of craziness I've heard out of Niner fans. Like it's crazy, bro. Like
I know. I
I've
know. I'm even
known
telling you it's crazy, bro.
I've known Niner fans to be sensitive, but the amount of sensitivity that came out this go around is ridiculous. Like,
I agree with you, and I'm a Niner fan, bro.
yeah,
I'm a Niner. I agree with you. Some of them are being
dude, they're like, dude,
there.
the way a lot of Jimmy supporters have turned on him, they're like, this dude is dead to me. I hope nothing but bad things happen. Like, dude, they're getting on him. They're like, the I can deal with losing, but you smiling over there, like, they're hella mad. Like, I get it.
Y'all
I
was
don't.
nut riding like 3 weeks ago. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Like,
they're
I
like, oh, we
get.
hope Jimmy comes back healthy. Yada yada. Yada. Shut up.
Like,
Shut
for
up.
me, to be honest, for me, like, if that was my team, I wouldn't be that upset because the dude was hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's
there's
not like he
nothing
could
he
have
could
played.
do.
There's
He
nothing he could
wasn't
do.
padded up, like he wasn't ready to go. What can you
And
do?
yeah, and I can make up the fake excuse of just like, oh, he's just trying to be a good sport, put on a good happy smiling face for the cameras because
Exactly.
deep down he's hurting, but like, what can he do? He's hurt. He couldn't have gotten in even if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. This is back-to-back years where now the league is having to review things involving quarterbacks because like the whole situation with Josh Allen and Mahomes, they were like, we got to change the rules.
Mhm.
And so the overtime rules
Were
are
changed
now
because of that game.
because of that game. And now because of the injuries, something that will be reviewed is having a third quarterback not count against the roster if you're like in this kind of sticky situation, man.
Yeah.
Because y'all's fourth string quarterback, I mean, the dude has been on 16 different teams.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you he wasn't expecting to play that game. Brock Purdy went down, he was like, oh, Josh Allen was like, oh crap. All right, time to go. And he really hadn't had much time with the team. He was only there for a couple of weeks. He
Yeah,
was
and
brought in as the backup to Purdy.
Yeah, he was a practice squad guy.
Yeah. So how much real, real snaps has he gotten? He not much.
I mean, the only real
And you know
football
what?
he's had was when he was a Sacramento Lion.
Yeah.
That's the only time he was ever really being a quarterback. Is when they had the UFL, man, and Sacramento had a team. Like, that's pretty rough. That's rough.
A lot of people were speculating that like after he got hit, he took himself out of the game. And I'm like, if you look at it, I mean, he got two-wood. Like his head smacked the ground, and he got up a little.
No, that's just Niner fans being sensitive, bro.
And if you look at it, and they even said, the people in New York, they're gonna review that in NFL. They're gonna be like, hey, check him out because they've been really on top of that the rest of the season.
Yeah, and do you want to
You know,
do you want to
and
be the
pretty
team
sure
that puts
he
him
had
back out?
concussion.
Do you want to be the team that
Yeah.
puts him back out in that moment and get
No.
burned, bro? Like, dude, like, because you're already gonna lose this game. There's no point in doing that. So
No
it's
point.
it's best to protect your player, but also protect yourselves from any repercussions.
It was bad. It was bad. Like now knowing what happened to Purdy, it was bad enough that we had to put Purdy back out there.
Yeah.
You know, what if something else had happened to Purdy while he was out there just handing the ball off? You know.
I will say this though, I do agree with some Niner fans that said that Kyle Shanahan got his team wasn't as prepared as they should have going into this game. They should have had that scenario played out with Brock Purdy possibly getting hurt. Because I mean, it's a physical game, bro. You should always be getting people ready. And so, like, they weren't even sure about using Christian McCaffrey or Kyle Juszczyk or, there was a plethora of players. There was a tight end that they could have used something that, and so it was just like nobody was really prepared for the possibility. Yet I was, because I brought it up. Like you said.
Yeah.
I had the script.
Yeah.
You
got the script, man. He had the script.
I told Roger Goodell exactly what needed to go down.
Yeah. They made it happen. Sucks, but they did.
Let's move on to another team, man. We talked about it a little bit. But we'll use your team to help segue. Your guys' dude is now a head coach with the Houston Texans. Are you guys gonna be hurting without him, or are you guys gonna be good? And what do you think the Texans got coming to them?
I'll start with us, the Niners losing him. I mean, D'Amico Ryan did a great job with picking up where Robert Saleh left off. You know, him coming in, filling in that position, he did a great job. I mean, it shows this season. This defense was basically atop the list of everything, especially in the second half of the season. They really locked it in. And he's just a dog. He's a great defensive mind. So his presence is gonna be definitely missed. Do I think they could replace him with someone that is equally as good? Yeah. I mean, it's quite a few years in a row where Kyle Shanahan has had a really good defensive coordinator on his on his sideline, and I think they can bring somebody in to continue what they've been doing. What the Houston Texans are gonna get is it's a really good coach. He's a really good players coach too. He's still young. He connects well with the players. And I mean, he's going back to the team that drafted him, the Houston Texans, where he played alongside J.J. Watt. So, and I was saying, I've been saying, like the Texans have some good pieces to build on as the future goes. It really just starts with a head coach for him, somebody to bring that, accountability. Somebody to connect with his players, stuff like that.
I would say he used to be a player for him.
Yeah, he used to be a player for them, so he knows what goes into it. I mean,
it'd be kind of cool.
There's not much more I can say. He's just. you know, I really hope he doesn't rob us like McDaniels does, but
What I think would be pretty dope is if he added JJ Watt to his coaching staff.
that would be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of sick, right?
Have JJ be like a defensive line coach or something like that, just like a
Defensive line coach or defensive coordinator. I'm like something.
Yeah. Bro, could you imagine the Miko head coach and JJ Watt's defensive coordinator? Watch
That'd be
out.
sick. That'd be sick, bro.
Dude.
Dude, I hope it happens, bro. I hope it happens.
And then some down the road they bring in like Brian Cushing or something. It's just like,
yeah, just every time
every defensive
every time like a legend retires or something. Like like for instance,
who else like Jadeveon Clowney comes next?
like
like
Andre Johnson becomes like wide receivers coach, and then when they elevate him to offensive coordinator will be when D-Hop retires, so D-Hop can be the wide receivers coach.
Yeah.
Just fill up the entire coaching staff with former Houston Texans greats. Just
yeah.
Just whatever you do.
Just pull a Jeff Saturday.
Just whatever you do. 10, 15 years down the road, don't add Deshaun Watson, though. Just don't do that.
No. Don't do that.
Just don't do that.
They ask you for massages on the sideline.
He's like he fakes a cramp on the sideline and goes to the the tent the tent,
the blue tent.
He goes into the blue tent. Hey, I need to come with me to the blue tent real quick.
All jokes, but it
comes out with a smile. He goes in grimacing and comes out with a smile. Kind of tired. Smiles and yawns. Then you start seeing him smoking a cigarette.
He's smoking that Joe Burrow.
So yeah, I agree with you. That your team isn't gonna necessarily be hurting too much. I think the fact that you guys were able to continue, that like you didn't skip a beat from Saleh to DeMeco, that says a lot about not only the players but like the type of guys that you guys select. You guys do a good job.
Yeah. The only thing that might change on defensive wise is just whoever we decide to re-sign or go after, because we do have quite a few free agents on defense. Notable one being Jimmy Ward is a free agent. A lot of criticism towards him by Niner fans at the end of that game, the locker room press conference. A lot of people saying it was real selfish of him to really compliment his game, and at the end of it, he threw his name out like, "Hey, my name's Jimmy Ward. I play nickel and I play safety really good. Hit me up," or something like that. But it's like, I mean, you can't.
Smith.
Lovie
Smith would be a good. Lovie Smith would be a good replacement.
Lovie Smith be a really good replacement, and I like Lovie. I like Lovie Smith. But yeah, just whoever we whoever they get together, and if they decide to re-sign guys, or if they let them walk, and we're always on that. We have a lot of next man up mentality, or if they go out and they re-sign somebody off free agency they like. So,
beautiful thing about your guys' defense. The beautiful thing about your guys' defense is that it was tested with injuries all year in the regular season. And so the depth that you guys had from second string to third string is good. So they gained a lot of valuable experience. I don't think that you guys are going to be... Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to throw out there the entire defensive line from edge to tackle of the Philadelphia Eagles are unrestricted free agents this year. After this year, that's that is 4 guys. Starters are unrestricted free agents this year. I don't think the Eagles are going to have enough to re-sign all of them. So there's going to be some available guys there
Well,
to sign to teams.
well, if they win a
I
Super
did a lot
Bowl,
of looking at that today.
if they win a Super Bowl or not, I don't think they're gonna like trip that hard.
No.
I think they've set themselves up to be very good, just like how you guys have set yourself up to be very good.
And I think one of I think if I mean notable is Fletcher Cox. If the Eagles win a Super Bowl, I could see Fletcher Cox retiring. Possible. Brandon Graham could too as well. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of big names going in free agency this year, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think they're going to be solid. To be honest, the Eagles
Yeah.
and Niners are going to be solid regardless of what
Regardless
happens
of signings and
yeah. The next team that I want to talk about is the Denver Broncos. They were able to work out trade with the Saints because the Saints have his rights.
Yeah.
So that they had to work something out.
I was surprised about this one because we both said a while back that we didn't think that Sean Payton would go to the Broncos.
I didn't think
We
so
didn't think
too.
it was in his wheelhouse, man.
I didn't think so either, especially with the fact that you brought him in a second time for an interview. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like who does that to someone as established as Sean Payton?
Yeah.
That didn't make no sense to me.
If you're not certain on the first interview, then
Like, first off, the interview should only start with, okay, how do you see this team working kind of, under you?
yeah.
If you were to be the head coach, what are some things, You don't do the other kind of stuff that you bring up in an interview because there's no need to, because the dude's entire career is
his resume. Just look
it's
at his
there.
resume.
His resume
it's
is
right
just
there, man.
watch a Saints game from anytime he's coached. That's his resume. You don't need anything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look who his quarterback was for years. Drew Brees, probably one of the best passers to play the game. Like this guy blew past passing records. Like
always making sure the team
always
was in the playoffs. Always making sure that they were
man.
competitive. Like
won a Super Bowl,
and then
like
and then I know that there were reports also that made me think that it wasn't going to go down because the reports were like Sean Payton coming out of retirement. Like I would only want to do it if I had certain things in place where I had a little bit more control and just it made my job a little easier and better. It's not just about the money. It's about I don't want meddling. You know what I mean? But they got the job done. Let me see. It's a bunch of draft picks.
yeah.
Gotta look it up. But what do you think? As I'm looking it up, why don't you talk about like what you feel this is gonna do for the Broncos, especially with Russ?
I was just thinking about that because this Broncos team, like we've said, they have a really solid defense. their season could have been a lot different if Russ was good this season and the offense was good. They could have a total different season. But they have some holes to fill. One is going to be at their running back position. Their running back room, whatever you want to call it, needs some help big time. They had injuries. They lost guys. They haven't had really guys that could be reliable. Russell Wilson is on a different planet. Can't get along with his teammates. Haven't been able to lock it in. They have good pieces at wide receiver, man. They have good pieces, man. I think Sean Payton he's gonna bring that, backbone. He's not a rollover kind of guy. When I look at him, he's kind of a, just somebody who can bring stability, accountability to guys. And I think that would be really good for Russ. Because Pete Carroll to Russ was like a baby, like somebody, like he kind of babied Russ a little bit, He kind of catered to him. I think Russ needs somebody to, push back on him, hold him accountable for things. That's just what I'm thinking. Because that team can be pretty good,
So the picks were first round draft pick for 2023 and a second
Damn.
round draft pick for the following year. So
damn. The Saints, they made out pretty good for that.
Yeah.
They get a first rounder this year. And a second rounder, you said, next year?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
damn.
So it's not bad.
Cool. Not bad.
Especially because
and I mean, Sean Payton wasn't even coaching. I mean, they had a different coach.
So you know how I told you that like the Eagles got nothing to worry about. Part of the reason why the Eagles got nothing to worry about with the whole like guys are up for free agency is because they own a first round draft pick by the Saints.
Yeah.
So the Saints being a bad team, they're in the top 10. The Eagles have a top 10 pick. And
nothing to worry about. Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. So the Saints are without a first rounder. So what do? They went out and got one by trading away Sean Payton. So that helps them out. They didn't expect to have one. Now they got one.
Now they got one.
But yeah, dude, I think that this is a good move by the Broncos. The cool thing about coaches is that none of that money counts against your cap. So you can pay them whatever to make things work. And so, knowing that you got a guy that's pretty happy right now, he's a lot richer. And and the accountability and things like that. If I was Sean Payton, one of the first things I would do is get rid of that damn office that Russ has. And I would have a sit down with him and be like, look, dude, you need to integrate yourself even more with this team. Like, I can't have you ostracizing yourself from the team. Like, you're sending a bad message. You're putting out bad vibes. Sometimes, dude, like real talk, sometimes the only reason why you win games is because the players rallying around one another. That ain't gonna happen for the Broncos if Russ continues to be, so separated from the team.
They rally against him. That you saw that.
Yeah, man.
Like, they would separate themselves from him, man. He's like over there standing in a corner by himself with his
Yeah.
helmet on, just whispering to himself, "Let's ride. Let's ride." You know, like it was such a joke. It was a comedy flick for, the Broncos, man. And exactly what you said, man. He needs to get rid of all that stuff that he's got. Get rid of the parking spots, the office. Bring this guy to earth, bring him down, man. And be just like straight up to him. Be like, look, man, you need to be more in tune with this team. Like, if you want to win, this is how we win, man. The team has to come together. And it starts with Russell Wilson. It does. It doesn't start with anybody else. It starts with him. It's your quarterback, man. It's your team leader.
Yeah. I'm very curious to how their offseason is gonna go. I'm curious about some of the reports that will be coming out during the offseason. Just to hear if there are some changes already being made and implemented and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how they perform next year. It would, if I was a Raider fan, it would upset me if they perform well year one with Sean Payton, and then you'd be like,
Yeah.
and we couldn't do this with this dude. I'm not
Bum.
gonna. I don't want to call him all kinds of cuss words, but you know, yeah, bum's putting it lightly.
Careful what you say. Mark Davis is gonna throw you out of the stadium before you even get there.
Gonna ban me from ever coming to Vegas or something.
You'd be like,
but
I don't want to go to that toilet bowl y'all built for billions of dollars.
yeah. So yeah, it'd be very interesting. I still would probably put them as the third best team in the AFC. There's no way.
Depending to see what the Chargers do, all
I-
as well.
I don't think there's any way that the Broncos could surpass the Chiefs.
No.
Because even if Russ was at his A game, I think his A game is not better than Patrick Mahomes' A game. And so if you still have the better quarterback, it'll just come down to the defense, and maybe that's the only way you outdo the Chiefs, is the fact that maybe your defense is that much better. But I mean, we saw against the Bengals, this Chiefs defense can make things happen.
Yes.
I mean, shit, I called it.
Yeah. And honestly,
I got the script.
I think after this season too, I think the Chiefs get better. I think they add more pieces. They add, they're gonna be a destination spot. Guys are gonna want to go there.
That's the other thing that fans seem to always forget, is like, your team is not the only one making moves.
Yes, good teams are still making moves. That's why they find a way to stay relevant. They stay good. That's how they stay good. Yeah. So bad teams take note. That's what happens.
You're the one playing catch up to bad teams.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a lot of things going for you in order to try to catch you.
Yeah.
Because as you're starting to move your goalpost, so are they. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is something we're gonna keep our eye on.
Let's flip it. What do you think this does for the Saints with their situation?
I think they're still gonna be a year or two away from,
because the division they're in wasn't this tough this year. You had the Bucks, the Falcons.
Well, then you got to ask yourself: are you thinking about right now, or are you thinking about the future? Because, like you said, this division is not very good. So like you think about the Bucks, could they have used a better draft pick and just missed the playoffs?
Yeah.
What was more important, making the playoffs or getting the draft pick? So it's like the same thing. Like I know that in football they don't talk about tanking, but there is tanking in no matter in what sport. It's just
Yeah.
how far you're willing to
always.
go. You know, some
Yeah.
some are more blatant than others. So
Yeah.
if I was the Saints, I would want to set myself up for the future. And in football, the beautiful thing is that it doesn't take long. It's not like basketball where sometimes you're tanking the like the Sixers, trust the process. The process for them was quite a few years.
Yeah.
In football, it only takes 1 to 2 years. So, give them an extra year, and I think they're going to be not only uh like really good in their division, but they'll just be good in the NFC period. That's what you
Yeah.
ultimately want. You want to be good in the conference period. You don't want to just be just good. You want to be really good.
Yeah. I think I think I see the Saints doing pretty good in the draft. I think this draft class coming up is has some very good talent and very different positions.
Yeah. I mean,
If you look at the draft,
next year is a better quarterback class.
next year will even be a even better quarterback class than this year is. This year has got some pretty good picks, you can pick from, but next year is going to be the one. I think this year is better for defensive edge. There's a lot of edge rushers, a lot of defensive guys that are really good in this draft class. So, you know, and they got a second round pick for next year too.
Yeah.
And
If I was
first round for
them,
this year. So
I would just focus on more of their defense because their defense is already pretty good.
yeah.
It can if you set yourself up to where when you finally get that quarterback, that like you put that quarterback with a really good defense, then you're talking about I'm not just good in my division, I'm really good in my conference, and that means that you know when the playoffs start, it's a whole different discussion.
Yeah,
Who knows,
prime example. Look what the Niners defense did for Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
His confidence as a player. If we had a terrible or like a mediocre defense, I don't think he would have had the rest of the season that he had.
Yeah, no. Because
Uh,
like he wouldn't be able to make a mistake. Your
yeah,
defense allowed him to make mistakes.
yeah, and they kind of went unnoticed because the defense is so dominant, it can shut down a team. So where you can get the ball within a few plays, you get the
Yeah.
ball back, right away. So
Yeah, shutting dudes
that
out
just
for
showed
a quarter or a half like your team
quarter
did.
half.
Like that means that there's a lot of 3 and outs. It's not
Yes, a lot,
that
a
means that your
lot, quite
offense
a
got a
few.
lot of opportunities that the other team didn't.
So that just goes to show how well your defense. If you have a dominant defense, your offense can thrive off of that. So I think they go that route. I really do. Um, like you said, I think they focus in the next year or two. Um, you know, even this next year, we'll see what happens. So I think I mean, it could be a win-win for each team. It just depends on what happens for the Broncos, how they go about, how they turn out. I don't think it'll be right away. I think it'll take a couple seasons, as well as the Saints. But who knows? It could, be a total dumpster fire. We'll see.
Is there anything that you want to talk about? or good.
Was there anything else? Not much that not much that I saw. I didn't really see much in anything else. No, I think more stuff will happen as the week go. You know, we have a whole nother week until the Super Bowl. So stuff will happen. And then once we get up to that,
there is one piece of news that involves the Eagles.
what do you have? Are you talking about the lineman?
Yeah, that they
Who
got
was
a
charged
guy
with
rape and kidnapping.
Kidnapping and
Yeah.
rape.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Eagles haven't said anything. A lot of people have been trying to get a comment out of them, but
Yeah.
he's indicted of those things, and so we'll see what happens with that one.
We'll see. I mean,
We'll
I
see.
don't know who this guy. I've never really seen this guy's name. We'll see if it's true or not.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep our eye on something like that. We'll cover any more coaching news in the future, and also as we get closer to the Super Bowl, we'll talk more and more about the game. But we'll also be covering the Kings pretty heavy.
Oh yeah. In the meantime, we got a couple games. We got a game on
Friday.
Friday.
So we'll cover that. We'll probably do that one after, right? After or before?
We can do it before.
I mean,
or
it's up
after.
to you.
I mean, I have that day off, so we can.
Oh, okay.
Do it
All right.
before or
All
after.
right. So we'll do it before, man, because
Let's do it before. I like to do it before.
Our pregame stuff has been pretty fire, man. It's been pretty fire.
Pretty fire. Pretty fi-fi. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do that before on Friday. So if you're watching, you can tune in right there. I believe the game will be at about 5 o'clock or so on Friday.
I'ma make a toast cause we still alive.
We'll check.
No big. I feel
It'll be at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m.
Shoot a shot.
Pacific
Remember,
time.
y'all, light the beam.
Light the beam. And you ain't said your line. Did you say your line today?
I didn't say my line today. Like, comment, subscribe, y'all. I suck at this, man.
Comment down below. Tell me this man trash, man. Forget he didn't
Yeah,
do
man.
his job, man.
Yeah, man. Write a L in the comments, bro. I get the L, bro.
They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul to go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect them. I made it call it with just like I'm repping. I know we left you, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need
y'all have a good one, man.
Me and my wife gonna have
Peace
some
out,
kids.
everybody.
Right now we just practicing. Practicing. Teacher said quit rapping, man. That gonna hurt my average. I said thank God I ain't average.